Hey guys, and welcome to what is a bit of a shorter Domination video today, but I'm a rubber duck of war, leading the mighty Dragon Empire, the Grand Cathay forces, up against Tzeentch on the Eye in the North map. Should be a good fun game. The reason I wanted to showcase this game, despite it being a little bit shorter than usual, was the power and the might of the Cathay Air Force, which I think is certainly underrated. Now, going up against Tzeentch, it's pretty scary contesting the air. They've got, of course, Doom Knights, a load of different types of flies, including Lords and Heroes. It can be really quite scary. However, the great Longmire Rider will have a thing or two to say about contesting the air game and, in fact, dominating. So we do have double great Longmire Riders here up in the skies, looking fabulous as always. And down on the ground, we have a couple of cheap units of Jade Warriors. We do have the majestic, the beautiful, the ever-glorious Sky Junk. And I think the Sky Junk gets a bit of a bad rep. I think Sky Lanterns aren't particularly great, but the Sky Junk, honestly, can do some decent burst damage, and more importantly, it is a giant distraction Carnifex. Opponents always want to hunt down the Sky Junk. They just can't help themselves. It's a defensive big blob floating towards them, but it actually has 10k HP, and if your Longmire Riders get the charge on the enemy rather than the other way round, which the Sky Junk often provides for them, because it's your opponent kind of beelines for it instead of them, they can often reap bloody havoc. We also have a Dragon-Blooded Lord of Yin up in the sky, coming in with the Talons of the Night, as well as the Missile Mirror. For my opponent across the way, he does indeed have a unit of Blue Horrors looking to push his home objective down here of Objective 3, and in the main battle line, it's just Blue Horror galore. There's Blue Horrors all over the place, combined as well and supported by some Exalted Pink Horrors, which is pretty fancy stuff. A couple of Chaos Furies in the sky, and a Herald of Metal going full rock and roll, Plague of Rust, Zero Doom, and Final Transmutation. If we go down here into the low ground, look at these guys doing their like backflips and just cheering. Exalted Pink Horrors, pretty damn badass indeed, and amongst them we have double Cultist of Tzeentch, who look fantastic. And of course, will be coming in with their nasty summons. So without further ado, let's get this battle underway. I love the twirling animations as well. These guys are certainly very extra, and I love the little yee-haws and roars of the Pink Horrors. So we are going to be moving towards each other here. Of course, objectives aren't active for another 2.5 minutes yet, so there's no need to push them too aggressively, but I am Cathay, and we are notoriously slow. The first deadly salvo is unleashed, catching just the shields, really, of the Blue Horrors. It does manage to strip the shields from them, and it looks like we have been able to kill at least 5 of the little devils. First blood to Grand Cathay, and this is where mobility is really going to come into play. So I've got double great Longmire Riders here. I'm simply going to jump one of the flyers and then use the other unit to jump the Blue Horrors, and it's free real estate. They'll do some damage back to me, but nothing too crazy. Great Longmire Riders swoop down gloriously into combat. The Blue Horrors meet them with a glorious insanity battle cry. I don't think it's going to save them too much, though. And up in the skies, you can see Great Longmire Riders as well. Going to be bringing the business to the Furies, rather quickly stripping them of their shields and HP alike. Down in the center, the Sky Junk is also doing some pretty decent work as the Jade Warriors start to close in on the mighty Blue Horrors, who are currently on fire, and I can speak from experience, being on fire isn't the place you really want to be. Jade Warriors do raise their shields, going to take considerable damage on the approach, but nothing too crazy. Looks like my opponent is now going to be using his Chaos Furies to jump the Sky Junk, who's done some decent damage to them, though. Looks like their shield is already gone, and the Dragon-Blooded Lord is on the way to help support. And it looks like we summoned some Jade Lancers to start applying a little bit of pressure to the mid here. Great Longmires, who dealt with the Furies, are beelining it back here, attempting to jump the Chaos Furies. My Lord actually decided to get out of there, didn't want to get surrounded. And this is what's so great against the Sky Junk. It's just so tanky. So it just sits there and absorbs all this damage, and I'm not that worried about it. A lovely Zero Doom does come down. I attempt to dodge where possible. I'm able to get the majority of the Jade Lancers out the way, but we still take significant damage there on our Jade Warriors, and more Warriors coming in as well. My opponent has some Doom Knights, a really smart ploy here, who try to get over and start dominating the air game, because the Furies really aren't up for the task. They are getting destroyed here. In the distance as well, you can see Blue Horrors are going down. They do a little bit of damage, but nothing too crazy. Great Longmire Raiders having an absolutely fantastic time here on Objective 3, doing some nice work. And the middle objective is well and truly in our hands. We have Jade Lancers pushing back onto the Exiled Pink Horrors doing a decent fight. My opponent's been awfully sneaky and trying to apply a bit of pressure to Objective 1. He's gone all the way around the outside of the map to apply pressure. Jade Lancers, though, are devastating against the Blue Horrors and quite comfortably dragging them down. Fast, mobile, armored units is very good against Tzeentch. Now, you've got more Peasant Long Spearmen on the way to support them, and some Jade Warriors being summoned. And the Sky Junks are actually going for some long-range Kobe's, trying to do damage to the Doom Knights, which isn't a bad idea whatsoever. And we have the great chase of our age. Great Longmire Riders get hit by -60 armor Plague of Rust, so I yeet out there as fast as physically possible. We should be able to escape them, at least for the worst of the duration of this spell. and allow the Sky Jump to come in here and hopefully clip one or two of the demons. It looks like we aren't able to catch them. We now have our own Great Long Mars on the approach, plus our Lord looking to sandwich these guys between 2 units and hopefully secure the air game. We are going to be pushing in super aggressively here. I can't really wait the Plague of Rust to go off, so I'm just going to have to commit, but it looks like it perfectly times well with us, and we get a lovely rear surround. However, my opponent's coming in with a final transmutation, and I am going to have to spread out into different directions to try to withstand the pain and suffering that is going to cast. Up on the high ground, the Jade Lancers are dealt with. We did some okay damage to the Pink Horrors, but nothing too crazy. The Double Cultists really did overwhelm us, and the Jade Lancers have been sent packing, though we have Jade Warriors me blocking the path to the objective here, and we're taking a nice little dominant lead in the tickets. Objective 1 is hotly contested at the moment. The Jade Lancers are slowly grinding down the Blue Horrors. I have more Jade Warriors on approach, and I do whip around the Peasant Long Spearmen to attempt to flank this unit of Blue Horrors and force them off the objective. Objective 1 is looking pretty bad right now, but we should be able to claim it relatively quickly, and we have more Jade Lancers being summoned. I think they're actually, like, everyone tells me Jade Lancers are garbage. They're not great, right? I'm not gonna butter it up here. I think Jade Lancers are great, but they do a job, and I think up against Tzeentch, that job is certainly quite pivotal. Despite the final transmutations, despite the Plague of Rust, we are beating back the Doom Knights and actually winning the air game here quite significantly, and that's really helpful by the fact my opponent keeps targeting the Sky Junk. This happens time and time again, and because they do, the Long Mars simply surround the enemy and drag them down, and over this fiery pit, the living and the dead shall fall. Or it looks like some Tzeentch magic is actually keeping them from the lava as they melt away, Lord of the Rings style. Actually, I don't want to spoil Lord of the Rings. I know it's some of you guys may not have caught it, but spoiler alert, very Gollum and Smeagol-like ending here. Jade Warriors are pushing in to the middle. My opponent has summoned some Chaos Knights of Tzeentch. Very, very nice pick. They are very tough to deal with and should be able to counteract my Jade Lancers, who are kind of running rampant at the moment across the map. And Jade Lancers lower their Lancers once more, lads, into the breach. Kobe in with me now, sending the Blue Horrors flying, and we should be able to cap this objective, although those Chaos Knights may swoop around to help contest against us. So it looks like at the moment they're busy trying to slam into the rear of these Jade Warriors and overwhelm them. It looks like we are about to see yet another final transmutation here in the middle. I'm tanking it this time and just trying to kill the enemy general. Point blank range shots as well, doing some pretty hilarious damage. Exotic Pink Horrors are being beaten back by some of the beat up Great Longmar Riders. Sky Junk is nearly dead, but it's used up the majority of its ammunition. We are able to kill the enemy Lord, so I'm quite happy there to stay in that final transmutation to get that kill. Our home objective is still being contested. We are eventually going to win this here, though the Jade Lancers are struggling. Jade Warriors are carving their way through Blue Horrors, so Objective 1 should be ours. We've been holding Objective 2 the majority of the game, and Objective 3 is still contested as well. Great Longmar Riders continue to swoop beautifully over towards the Exalted Pink Horrors and maybe bring them down, but there are Screamers of Tzeentch here, and Screamers could be a decent counter to me. We should trade against each other relatively okay. I am hunting down these Doom Knights, so I'm looking to finish them off and get them off the battlefield as quickly as possible. We do have a nasty Talons come up, catching quite a few of the Chaos Knights there, doing some really nice damage. And now we have Jade Warrior Halberds and Spearmen flooding Objective 2, looking to dominate at the center of the map here. Objective 3, it looks like we were so close, but yet so far. We were starting to cap it pretty well. At least I'm dragging some Chaos Knights over to this flank. I want to fall back with the Jade Lancers and try and pull my enemy towards my infantry. And I believe I actually summoned a bucket ton of infantry. Jade Warriors and Spearmen alike coming in. Hopefully going to get over there and support as quickly as possible. Objective 1 is finally ours. It was quite a scrap. My opponent put so much pressure on it, but I'm able to claim it. And it looks like we actually put a missile mirror down the Exotic Pink Horrors, and they do a load of friendly fire to themselves, plus the Sky Junk coming in. It's not been a good day for them. We have Peasant Long Spearmen who, if they needed to, could push out and engage. But it looks like for now they're driving away at Chaos Knights, which certainly is a good ploy and plan as well. We can see there's someone going to be coming down. It only summons Pink Horrors, I believe, which, you know, they're pretty scary, but if I can jump them in combat, they're not going to be that problematic for us. Looks like Screamers have managed to deal with the Longmar Riders, who are quite beat up, though, by that point. And we are going to be coming in with a lovely Talons down on the Chaos Knights. Oh, baby! The damage! Dragons from eons past, rise! Rise, my brothers, and slaughter those who have wronged you, with the help of the spear units in there as well. Those Chaos Knights not having the best day, despite the mass summons coming down and the Furies looking to dominate the air game. Looks like the Skyjunk may actually go down here, but we are dominating the map, which is far more important. Plus, Skyjunk's base used up all its ammunition now anyway. Chaos Knight's been dragged down by peasants, which isn't good news for them. Objective 3 is firmly in the hands of my opponent once more, who's starting to summon some Forsaken in. So we have 2 Forsaken looking to push the mid. Objective 1 is mine, though. There's a lot of units on here, so I'm going to use my Jade Lancers, actually, to kind of bounce over and start supporting the middle, or maybe even attacking my opponent's deployment zone if I can. Pink Horrors are doing some decent damage here and just launching shots into the spear units. Halberds holding firm though, and we do have some Jade Warrior reinforcements coming in. They're going to be jumping this summoned unit of Pink Horrors, which, hey, damage is damage at the end of the day. And the Jade Warriors have been decent all games. The Halberds, look at them. Battle formation, lads. Fight side by side with your brothers, and they shall save and fight for you. And it's looking pretty crazy stuff. So the Chaos Knights will be getting driven back there. A load of Forsaken on the warpath though, and that does scare me quite a bit. I do have a plan to deal with them, however. And on the left-hand side, I'm pushing up with a mixture of Peasant Long Spears and Jade Lancers to push my opponent's home objective, because hopefully the mass of the Lancers will pin the enemy in place and the Spearmen will do the work. And this is my plan to get rid of those Forsaken. My Lord is very beat up, but I have kind of put off the temptations of taking him off the battlefield, just so I don't get that army loss penalty if he dies. For this sole reason, my main weakness now is going to be enemy infantry swarming the objective, so I do some big damage to the Forsaken. Then the Lancers come crashing in as well. There's a big hairy scrap here in the middle. My opponent is actually starting to cap, but we have another unit of Great Longmars who have been summoned, looking to bring the pain. They're going to beat back Furies now coming into the main action here. And more reinforcements on the way. We've got Jade Lancers and Peasant Long Spears. My Lord's pretty beat up at the moment, so it's risky keeping him alive, but I'm pretty comfortable in my dominance of the air game, and we are going for that cheeky triple cap. Jade Lancers once again getting caught here, but I will be reacting relatively quickly, I hope. There we go. And pulling back to the safety of the Peasant Long Spearmen, who in combination should be enough to cap this and beat back Spawn of Tzeentch. Middle is still hotly contested. It's a big flusterclack. My home objective is certainly mine. I have over 1,000-point lead now on tickets, which is really nice, and it looks like those cultists are finally going down. The center resistance of my opponent breaks, and that middle objective is all mine, and it's looking like we're about to get a triple cap. My opponent's army has been decimated. There is barely nothing left on the field whatsoever. Objective 1's mine. Objective 2 is securely in my grasp now, and now we have even more spearmen moving on towards my opponent's home objective. And with the triple cap in sight, no army to be found, my opponent does bow down there. So a bit of a short game. It didn't go down to the wire, but I think it's a good fun one. You know, people like to crap on Grand Cathay, and they certainly are the worst faction in the game at Domination. I think they're very powerful in land battles. But hey, I still think they performed a pretty admirable job here nonetheless. And it's pretty good fun coming to the Skyjunk and the Great Longmar Riders. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. If you did, feel free to subscribe and comment down below what you thought of the battle, and leave a cheeky little like. Every like and subscribe fills the heart of a duck with pure joy in the world. And I will use the few pennies YouTube pays me for this video to buy some bird seeds and feed my ducks out to the local pond. So feel free to support the local ducks there. Loads of links in the description: Twitch, Patreon, Discord, and all that good stuff. And yeah, it was a pretty good fight all round. Well played to my opponent. I believe it was Stormrunner. This was on Logic's King of the Hill. I had a load of really fun games actually on there. I managed to go on quite a run. And Storm, I'm pretty sure this was Storm. And Storm is a really good kind of dude all round, but also a very talented player. So it's good to get a cheeky victory, particularly with Grand Cathay, who again, Tzeentch, with so much fast mobile armor, certainly can work. It is risky going with the Air Force, but it paid off today. So the Dragon-Blooded Lord, 2.9k gold value. I'm a huge fan of this Lord in general, particularly the Yingcaster. Just getting so much work done there. The missile's nice, but more importantly, their effect is to deal with mass infantry, which is something Cathay can struggle with. Really helped out quite a bit there. Now, the Great Longmar Riders, 79 and 37 kills, 760 and 1.8k gold value. Not too shabby. 710 on the Skyjunk and 81 kills. Not getting close to pain for itself, but it did allow the Great Longmars to really shine, or at least the one unit. But dominating the air helped us quite considerably. The Jade Warriors didn't do too much there, more being here for objective cappers. The other Great Longmars came in and got 867 gold value and were still basically full health at the end of the game. Never got a Grand Cannon active, unfortunately. The Jade Lancers were real MVPs for me, though. 920, 460, and 280 gold value. 46, 98, and 99 kills apiece. 760 on the Halberds, and I think that's going to be it realistically for big damages. Maybe some of the peasants shined. No, it looks like they were all relatively, big 4 damage. But, you know, relatively evenly spread there. As for my opponent, the Herald of Tzeentch, of course, always a nightmare. 2.3k, just fast, mobile, final transmutation. You can't really go wrong with this little fella. Exotic Paint Corals, 830 gold value. Unfortunately, got jumped multiple times. The Cultists of Tzeentch basically do no damage, but they were very sticky for a long time in the middle and helped contest the objectives. Chaos Furies, 760 value. The other one, 0 value. The Blue Horse did okay, nothing too crazy there. How did the other flies do? Doom Knights 1.6k is pretty impressive work there. A lot of that would have been done on the Sky Lantern, however. 86 and 89 kills on the Chaos Knights, but just got fended off by peasants. They couldn't really cap objectives too handily. 850 value on the Screamers is quite nice, and that's about it for big damage dealers. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. Until next time, peace, peace. And as always, stay awesome.